good persuasive dialogue it's a story, right? You tell a good story, you weave a good tale that has a protagonist, it has risk, it has an ending, it has a breakthrough. These are things that we just naturally as human beings we're very drawn to. And what we had to do, and this is the old days, I'm 58. So, and I was selling back then, we only had basically just email and a phone. We spent, it's really actually amazing how much time he did. I didn't realize how much this trained me, how much time we'd spend writing an email to somebody. Like we would get very strategic. Jim is my friend. He's a brilliant salesperson. And we'd sit around and we'd look at, like you do today, but you did it in a much more sort of, I'd say, analog way. We'd look at, we had a whiteboard. We wrote the name of all the big accounts that we wanted. And in our case, we were going after the monsters. We were going after Toyota, Sony and everything. And there was always like one guy or girl, let's say, at that company who we knew that we had influence. Like it was this person we knew we had to get their attention. And the only way we had to do it was probably through email, because how else are we going to reach them? And we'd spend all this time writing this, like word crafting the sentences and making it as succinct as possible so that when you hit the send button, you know that you captured exactly what you wanted in a way that would like really get into the mind of this person. And we got really good at it to the point where, I'm kind of going on here, but you have to have a good story to tell. It's not just that you can tell a good story. You have to have a good story, right? It's actually really important. If you're going to go work for somebody, like not for yourself, make sure you work for a company that sells a product or service that is a great story, because it's just easier, right? So that was one thing. I had a great thing. So I wrote this email, crafted it. It was this guy. It sat at the top. If you look at like the pyramid of marketing at General Motors, I was actually I think it was at GM at the time. He was like the influencer. He was probably in his early 80s at this point, but he invented and designed all these cars. And like whenever he said something, like we knew that like if he said it, if he uttered it, it influenced everybody in the industry. So we knew that we had to get his attention. Okay. And I had to get this guy to buy into it. So I wrote him this email. I'd spent like months crafting this email. I had one shot, and he got the email. Apparently what I heard, the story is he forwarded it, my email. I was like 30 years old, maybe in my late 20s. And he forwarded the email to all these brand managers. And his question was, why are we not doing this?